Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of Interesting Ideas. It's warm outside here in America, almost everywhere. In fact, what is happening is that right now in the studio, the air conditioning is really going, and so it's quite a bit of background noise. And you aren't hearing it. You know why? Because when I can finally put the piece together and produce it, which I will in just a few minutes, I can take the background noise totally out, and you won't hear a thing. And that's a good analogy about what we all have to do. There's a lot of background noise going on in our world today, and we have to learn how we could be in touch with the power to tune it all out from time to time. Just thought I would let that sit on your head for a while. And here's another thing that I learned this morning. A very famous speaker, preacher in England made this comment. He said, "The greatness and grandeur of many men is attributed to their difficulties." The greatness and grandeur of many men, obviously he's speaking in the old-fashioned language of many men, is attributed to their difficulties. We are going to be in for some difficult times. So maybe that will be the way that some of the greatness and the grandeur and the peace of mind will come to us. Just an idea. Let's begin introducing you to a person you just have to meet. If you're going to make it going forward, you have to meet this person. And today I'm going to introduce him or her to you. I'm Stan Houston. The program is Interesting Ideas, and it begins right now. I want you to imagine it. Right now, I'm holding up a copy of a book I wrote over 20 years ago, and it's now outdated, but ironically, even though it's outdated in terms of its content, it is more up to date than ever in its concept. It's this. There's a great big U, and it's in red. You make the difference. And that is more true than ever. Here's the deal. In my program on how to be a world-class podcaster, which you should listen to, even if you have no desire to be a podcaster, you're living in a media world, and you need to at least know, if you don't know how to make the media work, you need to know how the media will work on you, because it's one or the other. You will use the media to do your work, or the media will do its work to work on you. Please remember that. And you make the difference. Now, here's the person you have to meet, and it's in lesson 2 of our program, which, by the way, if you'd like to listen to, it's free for now. Just write to me at stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com, and I'll give you the link, How to Be a World-Class Podcaster. How to be a world-class podcaster. Maybe you're now getting it. Who is the person you have to meet? It's you. What I have discovered in my many years of broadcasting and coaching is that it is not necessarily the content of a program. It is not necessarily, the music of the program. I think you know where it's going. It's you. It is the person who really makes the program. It is the people, and many times the person, who makes the company. So, do you really know you? And one of the explorations I have in mind And I do this with the help of some people who have some ways of helping you help me. And that's to really get to know you, probably for the first time. To take a time out and say, who are you? What do you want out of life? Before I will let you do a podcast, you have to ask and answer that question for me. What do you want out of life? Because really, I can't help you do a good podcast until you have some understanding of why you're doing this in your life. Why are you taking time to learn a rather challenging art and skill? How is it going to help you live better? How is it going to help you be better at your business? How is it going to help you in your career? Well, you have to get to know you. And if you're going to do a podcast, it better be about something that not only do you know, but perhaps something that you love. If you just want to be in front of people so that you can get likes or whatever else in life, that won't be good enough. And so, one of the things you need to know is about you. And I will usually ask you about 7 different questions. And then if you really want to learn more about yourself, and if you want to become one of the most focused persons on planet Earth, and I really mean that, you will actually take time and say, Stan, give me the 20 questions. And if you can find an answer to those questions for you, your business, your career, perhaps your family, perhaps even for the calling, maybe for the reason you were born, you will be a man or woman with some great confidence and some great power. And then, truly, the program will be you. Now, there's all kinds of content, there's all kinds of songs, there's all kinds of just miscellaneous fun information, but if it's going to be worthwhile, it has to be something where you know who you are and what you want to communicate. And then, guess who else you have to know? Before you do anything else, you have to know the listener, the man or the woman that you want to communicate. Just as I'm in front of the microphone right now, I'm looking straight at the picture, the imaginary picture of the person that I'm talking to. Because it's very, very clear in my mind who I want to talk to and how I might want to help them and what do I want them to feel, what do I want them to experience, what would I like them to know, what do I hope they can do, how do I hope to serve them, how do I hope to bless them, how do I hope to be the kind of person that they will recommend me to others. So the first step is knowing you. And then, to use the words of the language, know your audience, know your market, know the person you're trying to please and the person you're trying to serve. Know the person you're trying to please and know the person you're trying to serve. There we go. Think about that. And we'll go from there. There's more to learn and know about how to sell and market you. And in fact, I will be writing a class and a course simply called The Marketing Life. And maybe you'd like to be on that program. It'll be a podcast first, and it'll be a video program. But it's called The Marketing Life, and it will be different than any other marketing book around. It will be simply this: The Marketing Life, because everything you do is marketing you. Everything you do is marketing you. We're at 9 minutes. We got to keep moving. So we'll take a break, and then we're going to talk about the man who knew the man. We're going to talk about Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate asked one of the world's best questions, and made one of the world's best statements. Did you know he did that? Well, you will know that in just a few seconds, maybe just a few minutes. I'm Stan Houston. The program is Interesting Ideas. We'll be back. As I've mentioned before, one of the projects in my life is what I call the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience, and that is the belief that if you really want to be an enterpriser, you want to create something, not just do something, not just aspire, not just be, you want to create something, you will do well, no matter what your feelings or what your faith or even what your religion, to look at the man, Jesus, who will actually demonstrate to you how to build a world-class enterprise. And, surprisingly, he will also teach you how to sell and market you and your product and your service and the way to help others. He'll even help you learn how to franchise. Okay. In the final scene of the Passion of Drama and of Jesus, of course, that Good Friday, Jesus is before Pilate. And he's beaten, but he's still bold. He's there. And Pilate says to him in the interrogation, he said, so, are you the king of the Jews? Well, most of the questions that Pilate asked, Jesus didn't even answer. He wasn't afraid of this man. Even though Pilate said, don't you know I have life or death over you? And Jesus basically smiled, I'm sure, and at least thought to himself, if he didn't whisper it, oh, no, you don't. You think you do, but you don't. And he's a little bit of a smart aleck. He said, you said it. You said it. That's right. Yeah, you said it. And then, in effect, that question, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. And then Pilate asked the question, all right, what is truth? And that's the question of the day. What is the truth today? Who's telling the truth today? Most people are not telling the truth today because they don't know the truth today. But what is truth? And that's for you to find out. What is truth? And that is for you to find out. So he asked the big question, but then he also made the wonderful statement. When he is putting the fate of Jesus somewhat before the crowd, he says, behold the man. Behold the man. You got it. The man. Not the boy, not the child, not the human being necessarily, the man. And part of what we're saying is he's the man for all seasons and the man for all stages. The man for all seasons and the man for all stages. And that's a lesson in itself. And if you stick with me, we may try and help you answer that. So, in effect, that's the deal. Is, hey, today what we need is men and women who know who they are, know what they're called to do, know what they are challenged to do, know that they will go through great difficulty if they're going to achieve great things in life. And in effect, they have the confidence to accept the introduction. Behold the man. Behold the woman. Just let that sit on your head for a while. One more closing thought, and we'll make this one a little bit fun. I want to talk to you about Scruffy the cardinal. That's right, Scruffy the cardinal. That will be my closing story. I'm Stan Houston. These are, I hope, interesting and maybe even helpful and useful ideas. I'm at the studio quite early, and there's one other person who is very early. I'm up at 5 always. By 5, I'm going. By 7 o'clock, I've already had breakfast, done my meditations, done my prayers, and had breakfast, and I'm ready to meet the marketplace. And so when I come in quite early, oftentimes I meet only one person, and that's my friend who's become a very good friend, and his name is Jake, and he's running a small office supplies business and doing very well, but he doesn't even have a store. In 30 years ago when he began the business, he understood that to actually have a business and sell things, you don't need a store. What a unique idea. Nobody would have ever thought that could be true. But of course, he knew it could be. And of course, now there are millions of businesses that don't have a store or have a place. And so we were talking, and I told him a little bit about my bird, Scruffy, and he made this remark: always learn from the animals because they understand reality. They understand reality. And that's right. They get up every day and know that they have to find a way to make it through the day. No plans, no particular projects. They just have to make it through the day. Well, my wife and I have enjoyed in our little upstairs apartment, which is about we're up on the 3rd floor, which of course is a little bit different. And the little balcony in the apartment faces a wonderful display of trees. All kinds of trees. There's a huge holly bush. There's what is called a tulip tree. And then here we are. Carolina is full of trees. It's beautiful. We have them there. And we've put up a little bird place. And it's been wonderful to see all the birds come. Though as one person pointed out to me, he said, that's very nice, and I can see you have a lot of birds up there, but, you might not be doing them a favor. You've kind of put them on welfare. They now know that, they may not have to go out and look for food today. They can just go to your place and you'll feed them. Good for you, but maybe not necessarily good for them. Great thought. One of the birds that has come, and he and his partner are cardinals, and they're beautiful. I mean, the brightest red. Now, the female, of course, has different shades to it, flowing into brown, but they are beautiful cardinals. And there's quite a little clan of cardinals that have come. But then there's Scruffy. Scruffy is a little smaller. He or her, we're not sure. She's got a lot of the brown, if it's a she. Her beak is bent and weird, and she's a mess. She's just a mess. Her feathers are never nice and smooth. They're fluffy. They're frazzled. She's a homely bird. And so we've enjoyed feeding and taking care of Scruffy. Here's the point. Scruffy knows who she is. She's not one of the pretty birds. And as a result, the other birds kind of give her a bad time and try and push her off. But you know what? Scruffy knows how to handle it. She's got confidence. She stands up for herself. She pushes back. She doesn't try and hurt the other birds. But Scruffy knows how to take care of herself. And how? Occasionally to make her moves and to get in, get out, and take care of what she needs to take care of. And you can also see that she's kind of enjoying what she does. And we are enjoying watching her. We've pointed out, Scruffy has great self-confidence. Even though she is scruffy, she really is a mess in terms of how she looks. But she has confidence, and she has courage, and she's going to be okay. And every once in a while, when I think I've got things difficult in life, I know that I can just go out and watch Scruffy and know that perhaps the same God that watches over Scruffy certainly watches over me. And you know what? It's going to be okay. I'm Stan Houston. Just some interesting ideas. Bye for now.